everyone. It's Tuesday, October the 22nd, and I have a bit of sad news. Last night was a kind of a difficult evening for me. I came home to find a letter from World Vision in regards to my sponsored child change. And I started sponsoring her June 6, 2007. And she was in Chad, South Africa. Anyways, I got this letter in the mail, and it says, I hope you didn't see my address. Okay. Dear Mrs. Esky, you have made such a difference in in Change's life. We thank you sincerely for your sponsorship. We are writing today because we have just received an update from Change's community. We are writing today because we have just received, sorry, I forgot that they somehow repeated that sentence. We have learned from our World Vision office overseas that your sponsor child and her family have moved away to another area. Sometimes a family relocates to another area to find assistance from other family members. I know this news is unexpected, and despite our best efforts to contact the family to find out more about their move, we have not been able to reach them. While it can be difficult to say goodbye, please be assured that your care and commitment has had a wonderful impact on Change, her family, and community. One of the most valuable gifts you have provided is that Change knows that you cared for her and helped provide opportunities she may have never thought possible. In order to make sure that other children like Change are given the same opportunity without delay, we have assigned your support to a new sponsored child. Meet 5-year-old Maria Amelia Sai from Romania. Maria Amelia's needs are great, and she has been waiting for a sponsor for a while. With your generous support and in partnership with her family and community, these challenges can be overcome. Please use the encoded letter template and envelope to send Maria Amelia a special note to let her know you care. Please send the letter to the National Office address on the left panel of your picture folder. You can also send her an email by logging into your account. So that was kind of a shock. And then the thing is that I guess they just assumed, because I had been sponsoring Yorglis from Nicaragua for 8 years now and Change for 6 years, I guess they just assumed that I wanted to continue sponsoring 2 children, so they automatically assigned me to this new child. And here she is. And so the thing is that when I got it, I was kind of torn because by what I read in the letter, it did sound like the family had already been notified that they had had a sponsor. And the thing is that years ago, I had told Alex that when one of the children, when the program has reached its goal or the child graduates from the program or whatever, and one of the sponsorship ends, I would just go back to sponsoring 1 child instead of 2. Not that we can't afford the 2. We definitely can, and I love doing it. But we just thought it would be, an extra $35 a month that we could put into savings for a house. When I heard this, I was kind of like, oh, I had hoped that they would ask first, but I guess they just assumed I wanted to continue. They really didn't know. So my first concern was, will this mean that the new child will be at the new rate? World Vision increased their monthly rate to $39 from $35 last year. However, I guess for people like me who had been sponsoring for so long, they did give us an option to opt out of the increase. And I just I filled out the form saying I could not afford to increase it to $39. And so they have left it at the $35. But I wanted to make sure, first off, that it would stay at that. And so, anyways, I called right away. And my initial thought was that if it was going to stay at the $35, I was going to sponsor because I love doing it. It's just a part of who I am. But so my heart and my gut was saying, just go for it, sponsor her. You love doing it. You were already doing it. We can afford it. It's okay. Then my head was saying, well, Alex wants me to stop one. Um, and I was feeling guilty. And so, anyways, they did tell me that it was still $35 a month. But I did talk to them about like if I can decline, and they said I could, and that if I did decline, they would put her back up right away for sponsorship. But that my $35 that came out at the beginning of this month had already gone toward her because they couldn't locate Change's family. And so when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, can you imagine this poor family? They've just received word that they have a sponsor and they're probably so happy. And then all of a sudden, and then, I say no. And so I felt so horrible. I did decline. I just said, I think I want to stick with one at this time, but really I didn't. I was just doing it because of Alex. And so when I hung up, I literally like felt sick and I felt horrible. And I literally, like, for the next couple hours was just like ready to cry. Like, I was starting to cry. And so Alex and I talked about it. He was trying to rationalize with me, like, to not feel bad. I'm still helping one child. It's great. And this and that. And we just talked about the financial side of it and everything like that. And at first he was like still pretty adamant, like, look, we should save and whatever. But then, he's like, okay. He realized that it meant a lot to me, that I love doing this. And he gave me his blessing. He's like, you know what, do what you want to do what you feel is right. And I support you. And, he's like, you have a big heart and, go ahead if you want to, if you want to do it. But he also kind of gave me the idea of, well, maybe trying, if I want to still help, like maybe go with a different organization that does other things. And so I spent about a half hour, 45 minutes looking into other organizations. Some were more money, which wasn't going to work. Some were a lot less money, but they didn't have good ratings, or the description of the project wasn't really what I liked. And so I also considered just giving like a monthly donation to Covenant House downtown in Toronto that helps street kids and whatnot. But for me, I just love the connection with child sponsorship because you get to see them grow and you get to see them, thriving, and it just kind of it makes you feel more connected. It's not just giving money every month. I mean, you're helping their community and you learn about what is happening. And so I called them back and I just said I felt horrible, and I said I would like to sponsor her, but I can only do the 35 a month. And I was afraid that, now that I had canceled and was coming back, they would want to give me, want me to pay the new fee, but they still gave it $35. And so they reactivated her sponsorship. And they said, because I called within a few hours, the family will not, even know that I canceled. And then I did talk to them, though, that I said I really wasn't expecting to automatically be renewed. And I can understand why they did it. Don't get me wrong. Some people were saying that they thought it was shady because they do it to get you to feel bad and feel like you have to do it. But I don't think that was the intention at all. I really think it was because I was such a long time sponsor that they really thought, okay, she's serious about sponsoring and she'll just want to continue, right? So it was an honest mistake. And so I told them, I asked if they could put a note on my file that said the next time, one of the sponsorships, come to an end, could they please speak to me first before automatically doing it? And they were very accommodating, and they said for sure. They put a note on my file. So the next time, I think the next one to go will probably be Yorgely's, because I do check the progress on her community online, and they're very close to reaching their goal. It might be a couple more years, but she'll be probably the next one to go. And so once she's done, I'll just be left with Maria, and that will be fine. So I feel much better. I felt so relieved calling back and getting her. I just felt like it was the right thing to do. I just knew in my heart and in my gut, and it just felt even better to get, Alex's blessing on it, because I didn't want to do something that, he didn't agree with. So it was really nice that we managed to work that out. So without further ado, this is my new sponsor child, and she's 5 years old, and her name is Maria, and she's from Romania. And she's in kindergarten. Her health is satisfactory. Her chores are picking up her toys, and her favorite subject is drawing. And Amelia lives with her parents in a rural area. Both of her parents are employed, but at a very low wage. It is hardly enough to provide for their family. So, yeah. So, I shouldn't be giving out the address. So I'm very excited about that. And it just explained in this brochure what happens. Changes are a part of life. Sponsored children grow up, graduate from school, and start new lives. Family situations change too. Families move for many reasons, and sometimes they move away from the community where World Vision works. And so I guess that's what happened. So they gave me this wonderful letter template, which I didn't get with any of my other sponsored children. This must be something new. It gives the map of Canada, and you put an X on where you live. So they have Toronto there. And then it just gives you, you have to write your family members, things that we like to do, and a special message. So that's exciting. And I'm going to wrap this up because soon Emily will be here with my new baby. It was like a spur of the moment thing. Emily is selling some of her dolls from her doll collection, and one of them is a baby doll, which, if you remember, the baby dolls are the cloth dolls. They're all one of a kinds, and she's selling her African American doll, Ella. And I fell in love with Ella when she got her, and I've been watching Etsy to see if Cassie has made any more of that, of an African American, and she hasn't. So this is like basically half price than it would be if I bought it brand new. So I just scooped her up. So she'll be here any minute with my new baby, and then I'll probably do a video to show her. And I also have some packages to open. And I guess that's it. So I will end this now because Emily should be here any minute now. And so this was Change's fridge magnet, and I glued it to the front of her scrapbook. So her scrapbook is complete, and I'll have to start a new one for my new girl. And her picture is already up on the fridge next to Yorgely's. So, and then she's got an empty frame, so when I get an updated picture, I always update the pictures there. So I will let you guys go for now, and I'll see you a little bit later.